So DunkNow took off the weighted vest version. I just finished jogging, that's why I'm a little glossy and out of breath. And I got asked about 6 or 7 times why they did that. Before anything, I just want to clarify one more time, I don't work for them. So this is my best educated guess. And it actually is going to tie up with a question from a young gal from the UK who I'm helping increase her vertical. She has patellar tendonitis, which pretty much means there's a, I can't remember the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's a tendon connecting the quad to the knee. So how does this tie in with DunkNow taking off the vest, in my opinion? Well, when you use the vest, you're using 20 extra pounds, and when you jump as high as you can, for every foot that you're in the air and you come back, I don't know how many times it is your body weight that your legs are going to absorb. So since I started making these week by week results, I think I've had about 15 or 20 people get the vest version. I wish I worked for DunkNow. I would have gotten a nice stipend from them. But when you get really tired, or your nervous system is wiped out, your muscles might not be, but your nervous system can. It wears out really quick, especially when you add extra weight to what the natural weight should be. And what can happen is, when you jump, I'm going to do it right here on the soft grass. You can see it's very loose dirt. When you jump and you land and you do this right there, when your knees pass your toes, you put all that weight on your toe. And doing it so, like, I don't know, maybe you really shouldn't do it at all. But maybe doing it about 5 to 10 times every hour or 2 hours is fine. But like I said, if you can avoid it completely, that's even better. But what that does, you start irritating that tendon. And it inflames. Patellar tendonitis, yeah, it is a tendon. It inflames, and what happens is there's 3 stages to that. The first stage is it gets really tender. And the way you could tell is you have to be very in sync with your body. I check my whole body at least once a week, see if something's inflamed, something's out of place. And when you go like this, in that one little gap in your knee, it seems like a hole, but it's not a hole. If it feels like there's a bump, then you've got stage 1. If it feels like a bump or an actual bone, but you know you could press into it. If it was a real bone, you couldn't press into bone. So that's stage 1 of patellar tendonitis. By the way, it's called jumper's knee or runner's knee as well. But it's not an award. You don't want to say, I have jumper's knee and smile. It's a horrible thing. So what do? During phase 1, I was getting it, very close to it, but because I wasn't watching my form towards the last week. But I did check it, and it started getting a little bit inflamed. It started to get tender. And when I see something like that, I immediately stop and rest. Why? Because I've had surgery before, and to be out for 1.5 years, it's horrible. It resets everything you've worked towards, and it could be years of work, and you're dead. You're done for about 1.5 years if you get surgery. So I never want to go through that again. So I rested for a whole week, 7 days, and then it was still tender. So what I did was, it's called foam rolling, but I do rumble rolling, which is an advanced version. But you should do that twice a week. Your entire body, but focus mainly on your quad, your calf, and your shin. Not the bone, but the muscle in between the calf and the bone right here. And you roll that out, you do a lot of stretching for the next week, and then the 3rd week, you want to do things that strengthen your quad. Not jumping though, just regular squats, just like that. See that? My knee is right over, this thing is kind of slanted, so I'm probably passing it right now. But you stick your butt out and you do that right there. You see that? And you go about that far. You don't want to put your butt all the way to the ground, because then you're also putting pressure on your knee, and the point is to get rid of that jumper's knee. So you do that, or wall squats, which is you sit on the wall and you just stay there like this or like this or like this, whatever. Just don't let your knee pass the toe. Do that between 15 to 30 reps, or wall squats for about 2 minutes if you can. And if not, the next day you do lunges. So you got to do perfect form lunges. This never passes your toe, and this is supposed to be right in line. So right there. Do about 15 per side, and then switch it. You see how controlled that is? Now what that does, it strengthens your quad, so the next time you start doing something that deals with jumping, it's not gonna give out and make you bend your knees forward. Another reason people get jumper's knee is because when they're young, they're a lot taller than their peers. So if you're short like me, you've probably never had this. But if you're tall and you're in a community where everyone's near your shoulder since you were in 6th grade, you're gonna tend, because it's natural, it's an instinct, for you to be in your environment and socialize with other organisms that are humans. You're gonna want to slouch. And when you slouch, you're constantly doing this, and step by step, you see that? I'm putting pressure on my knee and I'm slouching. So you could be standing and you're like, hey, what's going on, guys? And you'll be bending your knees and you'll be looking down. So over the years, even though this is very minute, it can give you jumper's knee. So stage 2 is when you start feeling a pain after you work out. So let's say you do the workout, you're awesome, but you notice after you shower, or maybe immediately after the workout, you feel this small little annoying pain. Now you have to double what I said. Instead of rest 1 week, you're gonna rest 2 weeks, and then do 2 weeks of strengthening the quads with small movements like that I already explained, and 2 weeks of massaging, anywhere you want. But you need to always rest first. When I say rest, this is gonna suck, but you cannot do anything, and I mean anything, when you have this, if you really, really are serious about getting rid of it. Stage 3, which is the last stage of jumper's knee, is when it hurts throughout the day, before your workouts. It can hurt so much during the workout, it stops you from working out, and it hurts after your workouts. From the nightmares that I've read, you're stuck with it for up to 6 years. So think about it. If you start feeling it being tender, immediately stop and do what I said. If you got stage 2, double what I said and keep resting and repeating it. Resting, massaging, strengthening. Resting, massaging, strengthening. And keep doing that until it's completely gone. But if you got stage 3, I've had people, well, I've read, and you know how I am with believing stuff I read. But these are doctors and these are actual articles, and you can call them and ask, hey, is this true or not? It's not something like, hey, kissmebabe69@yahoo.com. No, it's not like that. It's real serious people in the community. It just takes a Google search through a doctor's or surgeon's website, and you could read in through that. And you'll ask them what happened, this and this and that, and they'll say, well, I did this, pretty much what I said, what I told you in this video. And they say it's been 2 or 3 years and it's still not gone. So if you're in stage 3, you really need to really hit the recovery a lot. And if you're in season, I sit down after every practice around the area of your knee, the quad, the back of your knee, and always focus on never passing your toes. So that's what I think the reason why DunkNow took off the vest version. So many people started buying the vest version that they started going straight into it without doing the DunkNow original, which builds up all the muscles you need for the DunkNow complete. And what happens is when you get a lot of people that start getting things like this, is they're going to start wanting to sue you and say, hey, I'm hurt for life because of you. So they want to start putting $250,000, $1 million lawsuits against the company that's barely starting out. I know DunkNow's been out for, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 plus years, but that's still very, very fairly new. So they took it off, I guess, to protect themselves. I have no idea. But if you're doing the complete, guys, really, you need to focus on your form a lot more. You do not want jumper's knee. It's never fun to say you have jumper's knee. It's very unsafe, it hurts, it's very irritating. I've never had it. I just had stage 1, which is when it gets tender, and I got rid of it. But now I know that even though I'm very, very fit, even something like this that's just focused on that, I could still get something that can hinder me in the long run. Let's say you got stage 2 or stage 1 and it still slightly hurts or it's still a little bit tender after about 2 months, then you're going to want to start doing actual exercises that deal with jumping but also strengthening your quads. So the first few times that you do resting, then massaging, and then regular movements, you want to do explosive movements. Not as hard as you can though. Let's say a jump squat. Something like that, very controlled. And if at any point you say, well, I think I'm ready for this, and you jump and you immediately go into your knees passing your toes, you're not ready, you're not disciplined enough. And you really need to stop putting your pride before everything else. Sometimes I see some people in open gym or at the park, and they'll jump as high as they can to, I don't know, intercept the pass or something, and they miss it, and when they come down, they do this right here. When they do this, they're putting all the pressure on their knee, because you're talking about people, well, I'm talking about people that can grab the rim and jump fairly high, a lot more than I can, and they'll miss it, and they'll go like this, and they'll go forward, and they'll do that. So not only are they putting their body weight, but they're kind of putting their extra momentum of their upper body. So if this wasn't bad enough, they're doing this. And that is really, really bad. That can probably multiply how long it's going to take you to get jumper's knee. Now some people say, oh, that's why Dunk Now is very unsafe. You get this really, really quick. It's not that. It's just you're really doing, I guess, years of results put into 14 weeks. It's like P90X. You're putting what takes most people 1 to 4 years in 90 days. And they tell you in a warning really, really quick, or I work for them. So we tell you, we're not responsible for this, and that. It's your responsibility to with your physician, etc., etc. So you're talking about years of results in 90 days, or Insanity, about a year of results in 2 months. And Insanity's got a lot more jumping movements. And I had one friend, she was doing Insanity and she got a little bit cocky, so I don't know if it was at a party or something, but she did a power jump, which is that right there. But when she did it, when she landed, she locked her legs. So, I mean, just going that far up and bringing the knees to your hands, and you land like this, you're putting all that pressure plus gravity times your weight or whatever the equation is, and it's going like that all the way back. She was out for 2 weeks after that, and this hurt like hell immediately after. She would do this and she would feel a real bad pain. So that's another thing, you know, you gotta watch your movements. Some people say, oh man, I've told people watch your movements really, really close, and they say, I feel paranoid now. I feel like every jump I need to think about everything. It's making my exercises harder. Well, once you do it enough, it's going to be natural. When I jump, I usually do that little springing thing. If I'm playing basketball and you see me do a crossover and then, you see that? I don't do that. Crossover, jump shot, and spring a little bit. So that's my personal belief of why Dunk Now took off the vest version. Hannah, that's what you got to do in order to get rid of jumper's knee. I know this is kind of late and basketball season's just about to start for y'all, and y'all get really personal with it. So what I'm going to say is, right after practice, I sit down. Even if you don't have jumper's knees stage 1 or 2 or 3, I sit down, cool down. Ice your knees down, ice your legs down. Then massage yourself. If you got a foam roller, do it before bed, or rumble roller. Either or, it's amazing. If you can't afford a rumble roller or a foam roller, get a tennis ball and just go like this. But really, really slow like this, you know. And put pressure on it. Pretend I'm on the floor like this, just like that. And do a lot of, you know, the quad stretch. If you can get real intense with it, you know, touch the floor and hold it. There's a lot of things you can do. But make sure you warm up and cool down, massage yourself, ice yourself, use a tennis ball, whatever. Be a spring when you come down, and be safe when you jump. Other than that, eat right, sleep right, and you'll get all the gains you want from the world and yourself. Dunk Now is great. I'm going to start phase 2 on Monday, which is 2 days from today, which I'm recording. Today's Saturday. And I'm going to start a program of just pure weights. So we'll see how pure weights ties in with explosive movements. Full On's Productions out. Thank you all for the messages. Keep doing it. I know I've been offline quite a bit, but starting next Monday, I'm going to start posting a lot more videos per week. I need to come out with the workout videos that I have planned, but I've been really busy with school and work and everything, and making vegetable shakes and living the life. So give me another week or two, but I'll come out with a good one. Full On's Productions out. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, click like. I don't work for Dunk Now. I work for Team Beachbody, the OP90X Insanity Asylum, whatever you want to get rid really quick. Send me a message. I'll see y'all later.